Hello again. Okay, so this morning's one of the more difficult ones. This morning, I woke up in quite a deep state of depression, to be quite honest. So I kind of want to show like that side of it. So things like getting the children ready for school, struggled with making sure everything's right, struggled with finding clean clothes for myself, struggle with. Sometimes when I'm in this state, I will literally stay in the same clothes for a good few days because it's one less thing to do, especially when you've got two other lives that you need to deal with first. Tears can be quite common. Yes? Just a minute. Sorry. So yeah, things like this. So here we go. Literally, I've had a really difficult morning as it is, and I've come in and little silly accidents. So I don't know if you can see that. So there's just my coffee everywhere. Silly accidents because I was out of the room for more than a minute. This kind of thing actually becomes in your head a lot more difficult to deal with. So bear with me while I try and explain. Oh, I need to clean that up first and then we'll try and go through that one, okay? Yeah. So, a lot of the time I always get, oh, you're always so happy. I have no choice, really. Because this is kind of what you get otherwise. Again, a lot of tears, a lot of anger, a lot of upset. And quite frankly, you get a lot of suicidal thoughts also. Let's be honest now. When I was not diagnosed or whatever, it is with borderline personality disorder. I genuinely just had no idea. You can read as much as you want about it. You can do as much learning as you want about it. You can go to the counsellors about it and they can give you a general idea. But when it comes to actually dealing with it, it's a whole other story. So, I say, so mornings like this, it is, as I say, really hard to sort of bring yourself around. My coping mechanisms basically is to forget about myself. I have two other humans that I need to make sure are okay. So I go out the window, like I say, I have not washed this morning, I have not brushed my hair this morning, I slept in this, I slept in these. I don't care. But my kids, they're up, they're ready to go out, they're sorted, so I've done what I needed to do, despite feeling like I just want to go and shove my head in a fucking lake and never bring it up again. Again, these thoughts don't necessarily mean I'm going to go out there and do that, but you have to understand that these thoughts are a regular, everyday occurrence in my head, whether I am medicated or not. Actually, medication makes them worse, if I'm honest. When I go to the doctors, I usually get put on antidepressants because there's no medication for borderline personality disorder. There is nothing other than you either go on antidepressants or you kind of try and balance it yourself, which I've been trying to do. So when I go on antidepressants, because of the way antidepressants work, they can make you worse before making you better. No, the problem with that is, yes, that's great if you can hold out that 6-7 weeks. It might stabilize you, but it's that 6-7 weeks of you going from and you right down. So you're not just coping with these thoughts like as intrusive thoughts. Your mind is then planning these thoughts on antidepressants, especially because they are beta blockers, because that is what they are. So they kind of they can kind of mess with your perception of things, especially when you start off with a perception so different to everyone else. Introducing more to that can actually have a really devastating effect, because I do get a lot of the time of people that just don't really get it, or it's not that don't get it, I suppose, because it's just generalising so much. I do get like, oh, you know, have you tried this medication, you've tried that medication, you've tried this. There's literally not a medication I haven't tried, and a few times I've had to stop myself from making suicide attempts on medication. Once or twice I've gone on certain medication and I physically have been unable to care for myself or my children. One day, for example, I started a new medication. We'd cut the dose down because the day before was really difficult. I could barely do anything. So we did cut the dose down to half a dose, but then again, driving the car, just simple things, driving the car to school with the kids in. I nearly drove on the wrong side of the road. Not good. So yeah, the effects of medication can sometimes be worse than just dealing with it for certain people, not for everyone. Some people the medication works, but some people it just doesn't. Now, again, with these, it is very hard to come out of this mood. So for me, like I say, my main concerns is concentrate on the things that need to be concentrated on. If you are in this deep state of depression, if you're going through something similar to me, if you suffer from borderline personality disorder, or if you are just literally depressed right now, because this is what another thing that it is like with borderline personality disorder, you are dipping into so many different fucking mental health issues. I have narcissistic traits, I have PTSD traits, I have ADHD traits, I have autistic traits, I have complex trauma traits, I have manic depression traits. I literally, we can run through them all, and I can dip my hand into every one of them and feel it. Sometimes all the feelings I will experience throughout the day. Sometimes it'll be throughout a week. Sometimes I can stay balanced and last for months with none of it. Or sometimes I can go for months consumed by it all. It's a very fine line, and it's very hard to balance. You know, it's like I don't even know how to explain it. It's like something really just right on the tip, just balanced right on the tip. You know, like when you're spinning a ball. There we go, a basketball. So when you're spinning a basketball and your finger, I suppose it's like that. You know, one little sway to the side and the ball can go. And that's kind of like what it is for us, for me, for others like this, I suppose. And that's why I started this, because we see so many different ways of coping with these things that it kind of gets a bit confusing. Sorry, bear with me, I will be back. Okay, so sorry about that, school run's done. As I say, the only way to kind of, for me personally, to kind of battle these feelings, like, so let's say, so this morning, I did, like, I woke up in basically my deep state of depression. know I don't look depressed, do I? Wow. I just look a bit grumpy. But, so over the past few months, I've been slowly sort of, letting myself out, let's say. I've had this since being literally, what, I don't know when I was diagnosed, maybe it was like 10 years old or something like that. So I've had this, for what I know, for most of my life. So to me, this is my normal, if that makes sense. I mean, God, I wish I could be normal. I really do. I wish I had normal thought processes like everyone else. I really do. But unfortunately, and built differently, just like many others. Again, here comes the tears. Now, my deep depressions are usually linked to my mental health because it is so difficult to understand. For myself personally, it was very difficult to understand for so long, and it took me a really long time to get used to that type of thing and get used to sort of balancing myself. And I learned very quickly how to balance myself, not only how to balance myself, but how to hide myself. As it wasn't a very accepted thing to be so different. It wasn't really accepted to be different at all. I know today, in this day and age, it is a little bit more acceptable to be different. And so as I said, I started kind of releasing bits of myself just to sort of see how the world would take it. I'm not sure we're quite there yet, if I'm honest. I think someone so different can be a little bit too much to, I suppose, comprehend and accept. And as I say, the more I kind of release this, I kind of either get two reactions or one of two reactions. People either don't understand and will be like, oh, well, it's just this, or you just have to do that. And it's like, yeah, but you don't understand. I can't just do that. Doesn't work that way in my head. Like in my head, like I will say, oh, Larry, you just need to, I will say the same thing. You just need to do this. You just need to do this. Doesn't necessarily mean I will go and do it, because my head will then start this internal battle of like one's telling me you just need to do this, and the other one's screaming and crying in a corner saying I can't do anymore. So that internal battle kind of lasts for a while, and in the end it kind of becomes either too much where I don't do anything at all, and I can sort of really reset and regress back into I call my cave. So I really kind of start burying myself back down so that I don't have to see this internal struggle outside from other people, if that makes sense. Or sometimes the sensible side of me, I suppose, if that's what you want to call it, the normal side of me does win. Sometimes it'll convince me that, you're not as bad as you think. And sometimes it won't. It's literally just that these battles go on in my head all day, every day. Everything that happens, whether it's motherhood, whether it's being a human, being normal, or thought processes, or just anything really, these battles will sort of go on in my head. So this is going on all the time. So when I eventually have had enough, there are times when I will break the seal, and I will sort of open up to someone about it, but again, through no fault of their own, because it's such a difficult thing to understand. It can be very difficult for them to, I suppose, help me in any way, because, you know, how can they help me if I can't even help myself at that stage? So as I say with these, I kind of do have to ride them out. I forget about myself entirely. As I say, I have 2 humans that I have to make sure are okay. Oh, baby. There we go. So they become priority. So whether I've slept in this for a week, 2 weeks, I don't give a shit. You know, as long as my humans are cared for, that's what matters. And I'm quite lucky, bear with me, hang on. Sorry. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, 2 humans. Obviously they are priority, so at these stages, I suppose I kind of go into a safe suicide mode, if you can ever call that kind of thing a safe mode. But what I mean by that is that I don't really care about myself to the extent of, you know, if I've not showered, if I've not brushed my hair, if I've not done this, if I've not done that, that's fine. That's fine, you know. We don't worry about that. That is fine. That's my safe suicidal mode, I suppose. Where it is literally just, you just don't care about yourself. Now, I'm very lucky, as I say, I have 2 humans to instead concentrate the positive sort of actions on. So even if I don't care for myself, I care so much about them that I'm never gonna actually take that line as an option. Because I couldn't imagine living without my children, and I couldn't imagine doing that to my children. So that's really quite lucky for me. But there are times when it does creep into an extent where you do feel like, sometimes you feel like your children are better off with that. Bear with me. It really becomes hard. It really does. Especially again when you're in these states, as much as they keep you alive, they also really test you, especially in these states. But anyway, I kind of wanted to come out, show this side of it. As I say, for me, I kind of got to this stage just because as I am slowly releasing bits of myself, which I have done before, don't get me wrong, I tend to find that I'm either misunderstood, dismissed, or I'm taken advantage of, just because of the way I am, which is perfectly understandable because obviously not everyone can understand. But I kind of wanted to start this, I suppose, because I have been trying for so long, like I say, to put myself out there as me. Unfortunately, the more I've done that, the more I've kind of seen that it's not acceptable. And the more I've sort of hid it, the more the ones that I do open up to have taken advantage of that vulnerability. In my last relationship, my partner was obviously very aware, because I am very open to people that are close to me. I am very open about who I am and all this. So, obviously, when you get a partner, you do start telling them these things, and you start telling them about your thought processes and how it works, and not just to sort of freak them out, but because they've got to live with that as well. So it's only fair that they know that, and also on top of that, they need to know, if that sort of thing is happening, they need to know how to be able to deal with it for themselves, whether it be they can't deal with it, which is fine, and they have to leave that situation and not allow me to go through that situation until we can sort of come back together, which is fine, or whether they want to support me through it. Yeah, to find one of them. No, sorry. But it is difficult, because when you are giving that to someone, to this one person, yet hiding it from everyone else, you have to really trust that one person. Unfortunately, my thought processes are also very, again, we can dip into different thought processes. So my thought processes are very exaggerated. So when I love someone, I will blindly and unconditionally love them. I won't question these things. I'll just be like, oh no, this person, I love this person, so I am ultimately just in love with this person. The flaws don't matter, none of it matters. I just love you non-stop, every minute of every second of every day. I will adore you for the rest of your life, because that is just something, a way I suppose I function. So when you are trusting that one person, yet hiding yourself from the rest of the world, it can be very easily used against you, which I found out with my last relationship. I lost pretty much everything, and was made to, well, a lot of things like social services, health visitors, doctors, court systems were told of my mental illness, and because it is not something that is fully understood yet, it became a danger. It became a danger of losing my children. It became a danger to my own life, because these people were questioning me and everything that I do for myself and for the children, which makes me question me, and which sort of brings these deep states of depression and suicidal thoughts. Because for me, the process that will go through my head is, because no one else knows about it and it is just me, and because when I do try and release bits of it, it's seen so harshly. My thought processes would usually go to, my children will be better off if they are with someone that thinks normally or isn't as messed up as me, or things like that. So, like, my thought process will automatically go to, my children are better off without me, my friends are better off without me, my family's better off without me. And I kind of wish it would just end. Now, when you are fighting these thoughts, again, to tell someone that can be judged really harshly, these thoughts are literally a natural process for me. I know that sounds wrong, and many people keep telling me how wrong it is, but you have to understand, for me, that that's all I know. So the more people are telling you it's wrong, the more people are telling me I'm wrong, and the more I question. So the more these thoughts become reality, in a sense. No, anyway, so I wanted to come on to YouTube. As I said, I started off on Facebook and Instagram, just releasing bits of myself, bits of my personality and things like that. And I decided, why not go all out and brought it to YouTube, because as much as I keep trying to put out and as much as it isn't accepted, and as much as I really, really want to go back to my deep little hole and just hide from the world, I know also there's so many other people doing this and going through this. I've got to a stage in my life. Sorry, forgive the tears. They will go. Don't be feeling like they will go. They are. Again, this is a natural part of my reactions, because I feel emotions so deeply and so fiercely. It is sometimes hard to control these urges to, control that need to cry. I do find my easiest way of processing it is just allow that to happen. It'll wash over, it will come over, and there you go, look at that, back to normal. So it really is messed up, I know. But as I say, the more I kind of put myself out there and things, the more it did seem frowned upon, and the more I kind of became deeper and deeper in this depressive state. And there are so many people out there just like me. They really are. And I can only imagine what they are going through, because you don't really see many people come and talk about this kind of illness. Sorry. Because one, it's really difficult to diagnose. Two, we literally dip into every mental health issue possible, so we are the ultimate crazy. And three, it's very difficult to be confident in yourself when the whole world sees you in one way. Even if it's meant in a nice way, being called crazy in a nice way. They'll say, oh, all the best people are crazy. That's great, but I don't want to be crazy. I want to be human. I want to be loved for who I am, not just for the crazy in me, or not just for the normal persona that I put across. I want to be seen for who I am, not just the crazy or the normal persona that I put across. I want to be understood. Not even understood. You don't have to understand it. This is the thing. We keep going on about understanding mental health. We don't even have to understand it. It's just about being accepted. Yes, I process things differently to you. Yes, I function differently to you. But that doesn't make me crazy or anything else for that matter. It just makes me me. I'm never going to be you. You're never going to be me. But people find that really hard to accept. So anyway, I've come on here. I've started this YouTube channel. I've expanded my social media network, I suppose, to YouTube to kind of not bring awareness to it, because we are all very well aware of we are all very well aware of mental health. There you go. Got it. But what we aren't is accepting of it. And for people like me going through these same thoughts, feelings, opinions, we tend to just hide back in our holes because we feel the world's not ready. And then we feel we shouldn't be who we are, that we should be different, we should hide it. And I myself, I'm going through that at the minute. I want to crawl back in a hole and hide everything about me and just put across that persona that I used to be able to put across of being normal. But at the same time, I don't want others to feel that way. So I think if I can at least come here and show another just like me that you're not alone, that, you know, you are normal. We're just a different kind of normal, and that's okay. You are quite perfect as you are. I know it's difficult. We literally fight these emotions all day, every day, non-stop. It doesn't stop. No matter what you're doing. Literally simple movements like washing the pots, putting the pots away. You can question it. Is that hectic in there? Like, your mind runs so fast that it feels blank. It is like, I think someone called it brain fog. I think that's what they said, brain fog. And that's what it is like. Your mind is running around so fast you can't even see what's running around there. It's just a mess of emotions, feelings, thoughts, opinions, your opinions, other people's opinions, everything. It's spinning constantly, non-stop. So yes, hopefully, maybe if I come out here, show a little bit more of me, as much as the world must be already sick of me by now, then maybe someone out there is willing to show a bit more of them, and maybe it's gonna stop this repeated pattern of being used and abused, because we are vulnerable. We are vulnerable. Our thought processes are completely different. And when we love with nothing but passion. And when we trust completely, no matter how many times. Like, it takes a lot for me to stop trusting someone. I have had people lead me to suicidal thoughts and still come back, tell them I love them and we can try again. I have had men throw me around a house, strangle me, hold me up to a cupboard by my neck, and I've come back and I've told them I still love them, let's try again. These just the way we feel, these are the way we think, and a lot of time it kind of is taken advantage of, not because it's not acknowledged, because we know mental health is real, we all know mental health is real, but because it's not accepted, because we still have to hide ourselves from the entire world, so that one person that we don't hide ourselves from can take advantage of it. Yeah, baby. More? So I will leave it there because we need to go make more food. We're on breakfast number 5 already, apparently. You want them? On breakfast number 5 now, so I'm gonna go make some more food. Yeah, more. And I'm gonna leave it there. I'm sorry, the one I started on was a depressive one. I hope I get to show you some of my giddy sides as well as my moody sides. They can be fun. And I hope, I don't know, I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know what's going to happen. But I hope for anyone out there that is like me or similar, even if it's just that little slightest bit similar, some people can be worse as well. I hope this just gives you that reassurance that there's nothing wrong with you. You are a brave and strong person for going through what you go through every day and still standing. So please love yourself for that. Please accept yourself for that. And please know you are not alone. Okay? And I will leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening to me if you got this far. Good luck. Love you all. Bye. Mwah.